you can get started.
All right. Okay, well, thanks, Ken. And you shouldn't stick around and see how many times I break these rules here today, probably. But yeah, let's get it started here. So, hi, I'm Ron, and I'm glad you joined us. I've got to minimize a few things here. So I can't see any of you, so it's really weird. But I'm going to talk to you a little today about tools for creating visuals. And I thought, there's a few things about me. I am a retired teacher, and I love photography. It's one of my hobbies. And as a teacher, I always think that it's important to get to know a little bit about each other. I can't really get to know much about you, but you should get to know a little bit about me. So what I've done during COVID is there we go. I've taken my photos and I've changed them into art. Fred reminded me of this last night when he saw my when I hit stop video, there's an image that pops up and he asked me about it and it reminded me, oh yeah, that's right, I do this. So I thought I'd just share this with you. So this is the kind of thing that I do during COVID. Here's another example. Turn the left into the right, this into that into this. And so we've got a lot of historic buildings around Neepawa. So I enjoy doing these kinds of things. And I recently got into creating abstracts because I take a lot of pictures of some very weird things. I've wondered what to do with them. And I think I've finally figured it out. So that's a little bit about me. So as a teacher, or the teacher gene in me, I guess, wants to make sure that everybody gets something out of this workshop. So here's a takeaway for you guys. I put this in here specifically for Fred, because if he gets nothing else out of the rest of this workshop, I'm hoping that he gets this. So laughter is not always the best medicine, Fred. Laughing at your mistakes can lengthen your life. Laughing at your wife's mistakes can shorten it. So there you go. There's a takeaway for you, Fred, and for all you guys out there. And of course, I got to have a takeaway for the gals. So this is one that I'm trying to convince my wife of, and she has not quite learned this yet. When a man says he will do something, he will. There's no need to remind him every 6 months, but every 6 months, I get a reminder. So we are Rotarians. We love to support the community. And so I'm assuming that, well, first of all, I'm assuming you can see this. I'm assuming that if somebody came to your door and was looking for donations, that you would donate, just like I have donated here. So let's get on with the workshop. So this is called Tools for Creating Visuals. You might be wondering, visuals? What visuals? So I'm talking about things, well, the most common visuals, I guess, that you might want to create are things like posters, flyers, social media content, newsletters, things like that. Been asked, what's the difference between a poster and a flyer? And really, you can use the terms interchangeably. If you talk to a graphic artist, well, no two graphic artists may agree on exactly what the difference is, but think of it this way. A poster is something you stick on a wall. It doesn't really matter what size it is, although generally they're quite large. A flyer is something you might take away in your hand. So it might be sitting at a counter at a store and you grab it and you take it away, or whatever, maybe in your windshield, and you've got a flyer in your windshield. So that's sort of the difference, but really they're kind of used interchangeably. I certainly am hoping you're seeing all of my slides.
We are.
Good. Some other less common are things like pamphlets, presentations, letterheads, certificates, and reports. Not that they're not used, but they're probably less common in terms of the visuals that you might be creating from month to month or week to week or whatever. So that's the kind of visuals that we're talking about. So there's a couple of things about visuals. They should look good, of course, because people aren't going to look at them if they don't look good, and they should give the required information. You don't want to be giving wrong information or incomplete information. So take a look at this. If you saw these two posters stuck on a bulletin board, which one would you likely read? So you would probably go to the one certainly where there's a graphic that catches your eye, where there's large text that catches your eye, and the details are as well. So the one on the right is far more attractive than the one on the left. The one on the left has tried to attract your eye with every line in it. So probably a good example of bad design. So to create a good looking graphic, you need to know what a good looking graphic looks like, and then you need to know how to do that. Fortunately, there's a number of different tools available for you, so you don't have to be a graphic artist. The three most common online tools that people use are Canva, Adobe Spark, and Poster My Wall. And if you want to put it in the chat, if you've attempted to use any one of those three, that might be kind of interesting, although I'm probably not going to check that until the end of this conversation. But maybe others can see who has tried some of these different tools. So Canva, Adobe Spark, and Post My Wall, they're all online programs. You can also use whatever you already have. Image number 4, point number 4 is, what do you have already on your computer? You probably all have Word. Some of you might have Publisher. I have a Mac computer, and so instead of Word, I've got Pages. It's basically the Mac equivalent of Word. So that's what I use to create pretty much all of my designs, because I like to create. If I didn't like to create, I didn't like to play around with it, I guess I could go to Canva, and I sometimes do. Sometimes I would go to Canva and use inspirations that I've seen, or get inspiration from things that I've seen there. So which one should you use? Well, I guess that depends on how deep your pockets. How much money do you have to spend on this? Because here's a cost comparison. There is a free version of Canva, Adobe Spark, and Poster My Wall. But and if you're going to try one of those, I strongly advise you to start with the free version, because the free versions are pretty good. But when you start using the free version quite a bit, you'll discover that the best stuff in there is stuff you have to pay for, and you'll get a little frustrated. But I would advise you, get a free account of any one of these programs, try it out, and if you like it enough that you are willing to pay to unlock all of the paid for kinds of things, then yeah, that's the path I would recommend. And of course, on the far right, there's whatever you already have. So that's free because, well, you already have it. I already had Pages. And so, well, being a former teacher, I'm a little bit cheap, I guess. And so I use the free stuff whenever I can. And because I'm a little creative, I also like to create my own instead of using Canva or some other program. So no matter what you use, the first thing you should do is organize your assets. And the assets are graphics you'll use often. Ken just pointed out a bunch of different assets that you would likely use. Your Rotary logo, the mark of excellence, your club logo, those kinds of things would all be your assets. So things like this, that might be the assets, graphics that you use often. You're going to use them in posters, you'll use them in letterheads. One of the biggest the biggest frustrations that people have is when they go to, they're creating something, maybe it's a poster or a banner or something like that. Or even if it's using Canva and they want to upload their logo, they have no idea where that logo is. They search around forever to find it. So I would advise you to take the assets, the graphics you'll use often, and put them in one place. What I've done in my computer is, in my Rotary folder, I've got an assets folder, and this is just a screenshot of that. So they're just in a folder in my computer. Therefore, when I'm looking for something for Rotary or for some other organization that I volunteer with, I take a look in the root folder, which in this case would be Rotary, and then there's always an assets folder. The nice thing about that, it's called assets, and A's alphabetically, one of the first things that'll pop up. So it's easy for me to find that all the time. So I take all of the assets that I've got, whether I've found these on the web, whether I went to the brand center and got these assets, this is where I store them. So whenever I'm creating something, I don't have to spend any time or much time looking for my things. So it's really important that you organize those assets so you can find them. The next thing is organize your color palette. And if you dig into that document that Ken was talking about, it'll show you the colors for the Rotary leadership, the secondary colors. It'll show you the Interact and the Rotaract colors. It also gives you a bunch of neutral colors and pastel colors that are all official Rotary colors. I really just use the leadership colors and the secondary colors, and mostly the leadership colors. But take a look under every color. Take a look under gold. There's this PMS 130C, COM26, all of that stuff. Well, you might not know what any of that means. For me, maybe your program is different, whatever you're using, but for me, the most important thing is the second row from the bottom, the hex number. And so when I want Rotary Gold, in the programs that I use, like Canva and Pages and other programs, when I want that very exact color, I just copy the hex number. So I copy FEBD11 and I paste it into whatever program I'm using, and where it asks me to use a color. And that color is exact every single time. So knowing what you need, and I know that I need the hex colors, I've kept those organized in some way. In fact, what I've got is I've called it a Word file, but for me it's Pages. But you can keep a Word file and you can make yourself a little chart like this with the colors, an example of the color, along with the hex number. If you've got this and that's in your assets, and I do have something like this in my assets, all I have to do is have that open while I'm creating something, go in there, quickly highlight the hex number. So if I was looking for sky blue, I would highlight 01B4E7, copy it, paste it into whatever document I'm working on, and that color would appear exact. So that's what I mean by organizing your color palette. And so when you do that, you can create, and I like to create things from scratch, but I like to get my inspiration for other places. So on the left here is a book fair 2019 poster that I found somewhere on the internet. And I thought, that's a pretty good poster. Rotary, Neepawa Rotary is having a used book sale coming up in 2021. It's coming up, they may or may not be the right dates. I think those are the wrong dates, but I just use this for an example. So I took the poster on the left, the design I liked, I recreated it using Pages, or I could have used Canva or any other program, I suppose, but I made sure I used the brand colors, the colors from here, from this Word file. You can see I used the turquoise, I used the royal blue hex, and the royal blue and the azure on this poster. Oh, as well as the gold color, I suppose. So let's take a quick look at one of the free tools that you can use to create visuals. My recommendation is create a free account to check it out. If you like it, then you can start paying for it later, if you find you're using it enough. So when you create a free account, you have access to this. And you can see that in the top menu, one of the options is templates. When you take a look at templates, you've got so many options in there. The ones you're going to probably be using the most and going to the most is the social media templates like Instagram or Facebook posts or something like that. Or in the far right there, the marketing. You're going to create a poster, a flyer, brochure maybe, or a newsletter or something like that. Okay, so you use those templates to, you've got a design ready to go. You don't have to know anything about graphic arts. You can use one of their templates. When you do log in and you start creating something, you'll see a screen that looks something like this. On the far left, you see templates, elements, uploads, text, background, and more. That's a menu that you can go through. And right now it's clicked on uploads, and you can see what I've uploaded in there. I've got a couple of rotary wheels and some other things uploaded. When I talked about organizing your assets, that's what you do in Canva here, is that's how you organize your assets in the free version of Canva. You just upload those assets, and then whenever you want to use them for a poster or whatever it is you're creating, you've got them right there for you to use. The main part of the screen that you see there where it says uploads to store your assets, you see sort of a poster being created there for an Earth Day run. So that was just something that's your working area in Canva. And so I grabbed a template, I changed some graphics, and I changed a couple of colors, but I'm not done changing the colors, because you take a look at this poster, even though it's not even close to being finished, notice that the Earth Day Run 2020 is in green. I could leave it like that because it's Earth Day, but I would probably choose to use Rotary brand colors for that. All right, so just a little closer look at uploads. Those are some of the things that you've got there. Also templates, take a look at these templates. You can see which one I used. The top left one is the one that I used, but look at the one next to it, the one that says keep running. And notice that there's sort of a little crown to the bottom right of that. That means you have to pay for that particular template. You can't use it without paying. So one thing you'll find with all of these programs, Canva, Adobe, and Poster My Wall, they'll all have some free stuff, but you'll get all the best looking stuff. The stuff you want to use is probably stuff that you have to pay for. So that's one of the drawbacks. Okay, so you've got some templates there. You've got elements, and take a look at in the left side, you've got photos, graphics, video, audio, you've got all those kinds of elements. And take a look again, the ones with the little crown, those are the ones you have to pay for. So if that's the ones you want to use, then you can't be using just the free version of Canva. So these are things that you would drag onto the working area on the right-hand side, into the white space on the right-hand side to create whatever it is you're creating. The nice thing is they've got a bunch of you can create your own text, of course, but you can use their combinations of text. And of course, all you do is you change the text. You double click the text and put in your own text, but it retains the format that they've got there. So you can have something looking good very quickly with Canva. And one of the things I like the best, take a look at the bottom shapes there. You can have curved text. You can put, so if you've got a round logo of something, or you've got, you want a curved text around curving up or curving down around a circle, that is quite possible with Canva. That's the one, because Pages doesn't do that. Whenever I want a curved text, this is where I go. I go to Canva. It's got a ton of backgrounds you can use for your posters or whatever it is you're creating. So you're probably thinking, okay, that looks great. So show me how to use Canva already. Okay, that looks a bit like Ken Singer, I think. Oh, okay. So, well, I've got a tip for you. Whenever you don't know how to do anything, Google it. I had to change a pan on my fridge, the drip pan in my fridge. I had no idea how to do that. I Googled it. I actually found a tutorial for changing my model of fridge, and I could change a drip pan on it. So you can find it all if you Google it. So the best thing that you could do, well, probably the worst thing I could do is try and give you a tutorial and you're sitting there just staring at my it's not gonna really do it for you, because you're gonna wanna look at a little bit, and then you're gonna wanna try it out. Then you're gonna wanna look a little more and get some more instruction, and then you're gonna wanna try it out. So here's my advice. I advise you to download Canva and then look for a tutorial. This, by the way, is an excellent tutorial. It's 1 hour and 39 minutes. And the nice thing about this is you can run whatever, 3 minutes of the tutorial and then open up Canva and start trying the things that they suggest. Then go back to the video, take a look at the next 3 or 5 minutes and go back to Canva and try what they have. So this particular one is 1 hour and 39 minutes. And it's an excellent video. And let's see.
In today's video, I'm sharing an in-depth Canva tutorial for beginners.
For the next hour and 39 minutes, we're going to look at this.
To start designing your.
Just kidding, of course. So that's one place where you can learn how to use Canva. And it's probably way better than trying to watch somebody like me and not having a chance to actually practice it as you go. Another place you can go is in Canva. If you go to the Learn drop-down menu, there's 2 places, tutorials and courses. Now, I've just circled 2 of these because I wanted to show you when you click on getting started under tutorials, or you click on courses, this is what you get. It's the next two screens here. When you click on getting started, this is what you get. You've got all these options here, these short little videos. The first one is called Create a Team, and it's a minute. It tells you it's a minute and 17 seconds. The let's say the one below that is the welcome home, and it's a minute and 34 seconds. Next to that in the second row is start designing, and it's a minute and 40 seconds. So there's no particular order that you have to look at these. Just click in any one and spend a couple of minutes looking and learning something about Canva. The next thing is, if you click on courses, you get to a lot of different courses. And if you take a look back here, take a look at the courses. There's Canva 101, personal branding, social media mastery, design, graphic design basics. You can learn to be a graphic designer simply by going through these tutorials here and learning what looks good and what doesn't and why. So I've been talking about creating visuals. Let's summarize what I'm talking about so far. First thing is pick a platform. Doesn't really matter what it is. It could be Canva, it could be Adobe Spark, Poster My Wall, it could be Word, Publisher, Pages, whatever it is you have, pick a platform and stick to it. The next thing is organize your assets, your photos, your graphics, making sure that you've got your hex numbers or whatever it is you need for your color palette. Organize those assets so that you can easily find them. Point 3 is design with templates or create your own masterpieces. Doesn't really matter. And finally, 4, you're going to improve with practice. So the first time you try this, you're gonna create something you may not be too happy with it. Don't worry, you're a work in progress. It will get better and you will get better at it. That's it. I think it's question time. So that's it for me.